Good morning, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. This is Richard, and back for your first video blog of the day for August 22nd, 2014, Friday morning around 8:15 in Berwick. Going to be a kind of a damp day, highs in the 60s. Some news to report. The Angels beat Red Sox by a score of 2-0. Red Sox only got one hit, and they were swept by the Angels, who are in first place in the American League West, and they're probably going to win American League West this year and become like one of the top contenders for the World Series. And it's also Flag Day in Russia. Happy Flag Day to my Russian friends of Russian descent. And also this, I bet WWE Hall of Famer Nikolai Volkov's happy it's Russian Flag Day, and also former professional wrestlers Nikita Koloff and Ivan Koloff are happy it's Flag Day in Russia. And that's about it. And my next subject is the top 10 players in St. Louis Blues history. In my continuation series of every NHL team's best players of all time that played for the franchises. The St. Louis Blues came into the National Hockey League in 1967 during the Great Expansion era, and they were a consistent, great team. They made the Stanley Cup Finals the first 3 years they won the NHL, but they got swept each time, and they haven't been to the Stanley Cup Finals since. They had a pretty good team in the 70s and 80s, consistent teams, but they never made it over the hump for the playoffs. 1983, they almost left St. Louis because they were sold, and the business, the person was owning it, going to move them to Canada, to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, but the NHL blocked the deal, saying they did not want to lose a big market like St. Louis for hockey, and the team was destined to become extinct, but new owners saved it at the last minute, and ever since then they became a perennial contending team of the NHL, always making the playoffs but always never getting over the hump. They made maybe a couple of conference finals, but they haven't gotten back to the Stanley Cup Finals. They had some down years recently, but they're back in it as a Stanley Cup contender, and every year people pick them as a dark horse candidate to win the Stanley Cup, but they haven't gotten over the hump yet, and it's going to be tough because they play in the same division as the Blackhawks and the Avalanche and the Wild, which all of them are contending teams, and they have to go through them in the playoffs just to make the conference finals and finals. So we'll wait and see if they'll make the win the cup this year. Here's the top 10 players in St. Louis Blues history. Number 10 on the all-time list of greatest Blues players is Pavel Demitra, who scored 204 goals, 289 assists for 493 points, fifth on the all-time team scoring list. He comes in at number 10. Number 9 on the all-time list of greatest St. Louis players of all time, Gary Unger, 292 goals, 283 assists, 575 points, fourth on the all-time scoring list in Blues history. He comes in at number 9. Number 8 on the all-time list is Red Burson. He scored 172 goals, 240 assists for 412 points, 8 on the all-time scoring list of all time for Blues. He scored 6 goals in one game in 1968. Number 7 on the all-time list, Keith Tkachuk, left winger, 208 goals, 219 assists for 427 points, 7th on the all-time scoring list for Blues players. I have a number 7 jersey of Keith Tkachuk in my closet. He comes in at number 7. He grew up in Medford, Massachusetts. Number 6 on the all-time list of greatest Blues players of all-time, center Adam Oates. He's 10th on the all-time assist list for Blues with 228. Many of those assists were goals to Brett Hull. He comes in at number 6. Number 5 on the all-time list of greatest Blues players, defenseman Al MacInnis, 127 goals, 325 assists, 452.6 on the all-time scoring list for Blues players. He won the 1990 Norris Trophy. Hall of Famer. Number 2 is retired by the Blues. Number 4 on the all-time list of greatest Blues players of all time, Brian Sutter, left winger, 303 goals, 333 assists for 636 points. Third on the all-time scoring list for Blues players. Number 11 is retired up in the Scott Trade Center for his honor, and he coached the Blues for a few years after he retired from playing for the Blues. He comes in at number 4. Number 3 on the all-time list of greatest Blues players of all time, Chris Pronger, defenseman, 84 goals, 272 assists for 356 points, 10th on the all-time scoring list for Blues players. He won the 2000 Norris Trophy and the 2000 NHL MVP, was the first defenseman since 1972 to win the Hart Trophy, and Bobby Orr was the last defenseman to win the Hart Trophy before Chris Pronger. And he was the captain of the Blues for many years, and his number 44 is definitely going to be retired to the rafters of Scott Trade Center when he retires, and I have a Blues jersey of Chris Pronger hanging up in my closet. Number 2 on the all-time list of greatest Blues players of all time, Bernie Federko, 352 goals, 721 assists, 1,073 points. He's the all-time leading scorer in Blues history, and Bernie's still with the team. He as like a behind the glass report for games of Blues games on Fox Sports Midwest. He's number 2 on the all-time list, but the number 1 player in Blues history, the Golden Brett Hull, number 16, 527 goals, 409 assists for 936 points, and as a member of the St. Louis Blues, he led the NHL in goal scoring 3 straight years with a member of the Blues. 1991 NHL MVP, number 16, is retired by the team. He's the greatest Blues player of all time. And that's about it for the greatest St. Louis Blues players of all time. Tomorrow, my top 10 continues with the greatest Canucks players of all time. I'll be back later, Facebook friends and YouTube followers, and the next subject I'm going to talk about today will be Billerica's Yankee Doodle homecoming weekend for Billerica, Massachusetts. It's an annual tradition in Billerica. It's going on its 24th year, and I'll tell you the history about it. And the third and final video blog of the night will be about WWE Hall of Famer Lita. And if there's any breaking news, there'll be a special 4th video blog. Depends how I feel. See you later, Facebook friends and YouTube followers. Bye.